So multitasking. I do a lot of multitasking. Lot means lot. Everybody's always overwhelmed more than I am about the number of things that I do at the same time. And I'm okay about it. I am really okay about it. So a lot of times when I think that am I overdoing it, or is this how I am designed, how I'm built? Is everybody saying the right thing and I'm missing something? Or are they missing something and am I saying or doing what I really think it is? It is confusion. I was reading the document on what is multitasking, benefits and disadvantages sometime back, and of course, like the benefits are about multitasking is you get to do many things at the same time. Everything does not require 100%. Some things are more mundane and more smaller in detailing, so they actually can be done together. Let's say an example like walking and listening to music together. So instead of listening to music while sitting down and spending an hour or 30 minutes on just listening to music, you could actually take a walk and listen to music. That's fine. Or you could listen to music while cooking. That's fine. But then when I started thinking of these examples, somehow it was mostly around music that looked okay to do it with some other thing. And why is that? Because normally music is something that is capturing our auditory senses. And while listening to a music, we are calming down, we're relaxing. And so the other task is benefiting from it. So if we're cutting, chopping in the kitchen, we need more focus. But the music is not taking the focus away. It's actually just helping us relax. So that's good. But of course, if you're going to do tuk, 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 and you're going to move around with the beats, there's a problem. You could be hurting yourself. But let's say we're not talking about that extreme. Then what's happening at the walk time? We're walking and we're listening to the music. It helps us build a pace and it helps us calm down, relax, de-stress, which is exactly what the purpose of the walk is. So that's okay. But what about a situation when at work you have many windows open on your laptop? Multitasking. But one is an email, the other is your LinkedIn, the third is your Facebook, fourth is let's say a spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet, the other is a document to be checked in, a script or a narrative or a official document, a contract which is there. And then there might be two or three more things that you have to research to get to these answers and solve a thing. And then somebody from your team comes in and says, hey, I need help with this. Yeah, okay, let me find out. And you open a window about that and put that all together. This is my usual. What about you? So, of course, let me know in the comments of how's your day at work is, but this is my usual. And then when we do multiple things, then there are at least one more window of those multiple things that you're doing. So what happens for me is that the reason that these windows remain open is because I could have read the whole thing, understood, processed, and finished it. But two situations. Either something comes up at that moment which wasn't planned and is important to attend, so I digress. Or I look at it something, I have done one part of the work, I get to the next stage of the same work, and then there is more. There's something to be written, there's something else to be asked from somebody. Now I've asked and I have to wait for the response to come. So I'm not somebody who can sit at that point of time that, okay, this mail is coming and I'm going to wait for it. So by the time I start on another task, now that another task and the first task, of course, cannot be timed in the same timeline. So there is an overlap. So over a period of time and with all these years of really, really, really multitasking, I feel a lot of time my life has become about disaster management. It's like jahan aag lagi hai, wahan jao. Not so much about the planning. But if I wasn't trying to be really hard on myself, if the intention of what I'm sharing with you is not to beat myself down or to criticize people who multitask, then I must share a secret. The secret to my little bit of workability in the multitasking space is the habit of making lists. Yes, making list. Very simple. Everybody does it, but it has done wonders for me. So what I do is I make one list at the end of the day, which is how things happened and what is it that needs to go to tomorrow or the week later, not so much after that. Of course, if there's something that I need to attend to in the quarter or in the 6 months, I write it down at the right place, but it's not in that diary. In the diary is the things that have to be done mostly tomorrow, the next day, 3 days later, in the week max, and then it's dated to that date. And I allocate the delegation of it, that who do I have to delegate what, and that's what I sleep with after doing that. In the morning before I begin work, I definitely look at this list. Now, it could be while I'm driving to office, whether it could be while having my morning coffee, it could be at some point of time, but I'm processing this list. And over the years, what has really happened is that the direction that I wish to take at night before about this list sometimes changes by the morning. I don't know. I was sleeping in the night. I don't know what made it change, but it changed. And most often, it is definitely a good change. So by morning, when I look at it fresh, I have a better insight of how I'm going to do it. So sometimes the priorities shift. The ninth thing comes to the second thing, and so on. And sometimes some of the things completely get deleted. I don't feel that this is important enough. And in the morning, I don't do this at night at all, but in the morning, I list them as three things: urgent, important, good to do. A very, very standard productivity practice that I learned a few years ago, but simplifying it like this has really worked for me. I list down the task and then call them as urgent, important, and good to do. Of course, the urgent has to be done urgently. And so sometimes, I even have four things which are urgent. Now, how am I going to do four urgent things together? And so that's where I do the time. And when I do the timing, a normal, simple Google Calendar comes very handy. I time it up, put it in my calendar. Earlier, I used to really block my calendar hour by hour. Doesn't work. Of course, you all know it doesn't work, but I didn't get it at the time. I thought, हो जाएगा, कर लेंगे. So it used to be like 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, like that. But of course, there are spillovers and delays. Sometimes something gets free earlier, then I take on another task and it may not get done in that little jo beach ka time bacha tha. So now a good practice that I follow is to time it for half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, whatever it's going to take, and definitely have a 15-minute gap for sure. I mean, I really wish there was more time to put in a gap, but no, there is a lot to be done. I don't have that kind of thing, but I at least keep it 15 minutes. Sometimes it's half an hour after two meetings. Now, that's one thing. Now, let's see, what am I doing in that 15 minute or in that half an hour? Am I chilling? Again, I wish I was, but I'm not. So either that 15 minutes or half an hour is used in the spillover that happened. Somebody that had to be met came late, or the discussion went long, some other things happened. So that's one thing. Otherwise, this 15 minutes and 30 minutes, I have learned to use in two things which really help me be at a responsible, accountable position and not just a doer. These 15-30 minutes where I take stock of my team. So one part of my day is my work that I really need to do on my own, and the other is the team's work, which together is our organizational work. So these 15 minutes, the 30 minutes is where I get to look at all my mails and messages, respond to whoever it needs to do, check on people, support them, and take accountability and get more updated. At this time, a lot of times the morning list really changes again. Something's changed, something needs to be attended to, something got done. So these are my timings to update my list. So coming back to the original plan, I look at my list first thing in the morning, then I look at it before lunch, and I look at it 2 hours before I close work for the day. Now, some of you who know me know that my work does not get closed till much later in the night. And we're not saying it's a good thing, but that's how it is for me. But I'm just sharing it with overworked, multitasking people who might be just like me. So till afternoon, it's okay. But since my work does not finish at a fixed time every day, so these 2-3 hours is what I look at it is when my team is leaving for work. Because if there is something urgent, it should not be absolutely last minute for them either. And if it's really, really urgent, it should not really get postponed as well. So the team leaves from work at anything between 6 to 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock. So my last time I look at this list is around 5 o'clock. And if there's anything that I've missed out, any follow-ups that need to be done, anything that I need to get happens in between this time. This part of the day is still not very perfect for me, depending on my availability, other people's response, and all of that, but I'm trying and I'm working on it. But making a list at the end of the night and looking at it up and categorizing it between urgent, important, and good to do has really helped me do the multitasking that I always do. So try it out, and if you have any better way, anything that you've really tried and it worked, not just after reading some books, but something that you tried and it worked it out, please share it with me. I really need it. And this part, share it around with anybody that helps too. Thank you.